Hello, welcome to episode 259 of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you from Norwich in Norfolk in the UK, and today is the 26th of October. So welcome everybody. I hope you've all had a lovely crafty week since the last time I've spoken to you, and I'm here to share all the things that I've been making in the last 7 days. So today we have some knitting, and we have a guest on the podcast who's going to show you how she's getting on with her GeoGradient MCAL as well, so wait for that. We have some confessions. Oh dear. I thought it was just about time to have some confessions because I haven't had any for quite some time now. So I thought I'd share that with you. I have a couple of questions from the Ask Me Anything thread, and there's a really interesting question that I've got about larger size garments and the way to look for sizes on Ravelry, and I've got a really good tip for you, so watch out for that. I've got a what's occurring section where I'm going to talk to you about the new Barbara's Day out, some winners for the make-alongs, and some things that are going in the shop this Friday, and also what's in the shop now, and also what's going in the shop next Friday. But I'll tell you a bit more about it in this section. And then there's a little appearance from Jensen at the end of the podcast. So let's get on with the knitting, shall we? I have a big reveal to show you. Now, I have got a sneaky peek at the Rockin' Robin sock pattern, and it's going to come out on the 1st of December. Now, if you've purchased a Rockin' Robin project bag and yarn set, that will come with that. So you'll get an email with the pattern later on in November, so watch out for that. But I have finished the sample and I've written the pattern out. I'm just going to be sending that out to test knitters on Monday, but I haven't done so yet. So I'm going to send those to my normal test knitters and see if they can do it, but I might be asking for more test knitters on Instagram. So if you don't want to see the Rockin' Robin sock pattern, if you skip along to the timestamp on the screen, you won't have any spoilers. I'm going to show it in black and white because it is the Rockin' Robin colourway, and then I will warn you and I'll show you the colour version for a sneak peek. But if you don't want to see that, just skip along to the timestamp on the screen. So this is the Rockin' Robin sock pattern. It has little robin's feet on the side, which is really cute. That goes all the way around the sock. And this has also got a double brim, so it's really nice and squishy with like a picot edge across the top. And then here we've got some slip stitches for this blended effect for the two yarns. Now, I've designed it to be quite a short sock, but obviously you could knit that leg as long or as short as you wanted it to be. But I've written it as quite a short sock this time. I like to focus most of the detail in the cuff so that if you are knitting it over the Christmas period, you can get that bit done that's a little bit fiddly, and then you've basically got quite a plain sock. But I have included a feather heel which has got these slip stitch details to make little feathers. There's 3 of these on this particular version, but for different sizes there's different numbers of the feathers around the heel. And I have included instructions for this feather stitch to do down the front of the foot if you'd like to do that. So there are full instructions for that, but I am quite a fan of having quite a plain foot because I do like knitting and watching a film and not having to concentrate on it very much. So for me, that is the perfect Christmas knitting. So those are going to be out on the 1st of December for those of you who didn't buy the kits. If you bought the kits, you will get that earlier in November, and they're going to test knitters on Monday. But I'm really pleased with how the little robin feet have come out there. It's inspired by a robin hopping around in the crisp white snow sort of thing, with his little cute little feet. If you have purchased the actual kit, there's a stitch marker that goes with this sort of the theme of the robin's feet. So I'm now going to show the colourway in its full glory in colour on the screen so you can see what it looks like. I'm actually going to have some of these sock sets available on the 1st of December as well, but I'm just going to do a few pre-orders and that will be it. But if you bought the actual bag and sock set, there's the bag that's completely exclusive to that, and the stitch markers that are completely exclusive to that as well. So in the sock sets you get 100 grams of the main colour, which is used for the foot, and then 20 grams which is used for the cuffs. And because it's quite a long cuff, I've not done the contrast toes, but you might have enough. actually I used 7 grams for this 64 stitch version, so you could potentially do a toe in there if you are using some of the smaller sizes. But there we go, that is the sneak peek of this year's Christmas sock pattern. Out the 1st of December, and actually the instructions are available not only for 4-ply yarn but also for DK as well in a range of sizes. So there we go, that is the Christmas sock pattern. So now I'm going to introduce the special guest that I've actually recorded earlier in the day to come and show us what she's been knitting. So Liz has been working on the new Geo Gradient MCAL shawl, and also another shawl for me. So now you're over to the me and Liz of this morning. So welcome, Liz.
Thank you.
So Liz has already got something knitted on. I will leave a link to the video where we chatted about her knitting this jumper in the description bar down below, but I can't actually remember what the title of the pattern is, but remember. I will leave a link to the video so you can watch that. But it's in like a super chunky yarn, so very, very squishy and cozy. So Liz has been really busy knitting some samples for me and also working on the Stephen West MCAL. So first of all, I'm going to show you the sample that she's knitted, and this one is a pattern that's a 2 skein shawl, and it's knitted from the August and July and August yarn clubs for this year, from the music and from the movies yarn sets. So this is the one. Isn't it gorgeous? This is Barndon by Stephen West. Barndom, I should say, it's got an M at the end, and I absolutely love it. Isn't it lovely, Liz? Did you enjoy knitting it?
I did, yes. That was easy. That was quite easy to pick up and do, so I didn't get lost.
The only thing that we were a bit confused, weren't we, when we were looking at the patterns, when you've got these there's a sort of cable, like a boning, I suppose you'd call it, that's through it, and there was instructions to do it. It was a bit confusing, wasn't it, because it told you the colour of yarn you were supposed to knit along the row with, and then it was referring to the colours of yarn of the stitches on the row below rather than changing the yarn. So we were like, what? So we had to read it over a couple of times.
You worked it out.
But we worked it out, didn't we?
No, you worked it out.
But just beware that when they say that it's that colour A or B, stick with that for the whole row, and it refers to the colour of the yarn in the row below. So just to stop you getting confused. But it is a lovely one.
I'm easily confused.
What I might do actually is put it on the table so you can see this a little bit better close up. But it's a 2 skein shawl knitted from 2 yarn clubs from July and August. So July's yarn club was this sort of turquoisey grey one, which was the Waterworld theme tune to the Waterworld movie, and this one here, which is like a browny colour with different colours of pinks and blues in there. That one was the Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins from the Top Gun theme tune, so I will show you that on a separate video so you can actually see it on the table. But I thought that was an interesting thing to share with everybody about the actual colour that you're supposed to be knitting, because it was a little bit confusing. Definitely. Well, for us anyway. For
me.
So there is a 3 colour version of that as well, so you can knit it if you've got 3 skeins that go together nicely. But I'll pop a picture up on the screen of what it would look like if you knitted it with 3 colours. So I've got the yarn left over from that shawl, and there was 13 grams of colour B and 20 grams of colour A left, so you have a little bit left to put into scrappy projects after you finish. I thought I would just sneak in here and show you the shawl when it's just me on camera, because you can sort of get a better idea of what it looks like. So this is gorgeous, the Barndom shawl by Stephen West, in the 2 colourways that the July and August yarn clubs for this year. And we had Waterworld's theme, which was the blue and grey, and this one here was Danger Zone, which has got like browns and greys and turquoise and pink in there as well. And I absolutely love this shawl. I think it's quite a simple pattern to do. Like we said in the video with Liz in it though, there is some sort of little bit of difficulty in interpretation sometimes, where you get the cables where it tells you to work in one colour and then it tells you to knit the stitches that are in the different colour on the row below, but it is, you do still keep knitting with that one colour. Hopefully that makes sense. If you do have difficulties with it, you can of course contact Stephen like you would with any designer, but hopefully that'll help you if you are knitting this shawl. This is the 2-colour shawl rather than the 3-colour shawl. He does a 3-colour version as well, which is equally beautiful, but I thought I would have a sample of the 2 colours from that were made to go together in one of this year's clubs. So there we go, that's how I'd probably wear it, around my neck. It's a lovely shape to do this actually, because it's a sort of a V shape, which is nice. And I blocked it out into a sort of a V shape as well. Of course you could wear it across your back, like so. Ta-da! So I absolutely love this, and it's going to be one that I wear a lot, I think, especially because it's got a bit of turquoise in it, and I'm usually wearing turquoise, so that's always good. So back over to me and Liz of this morning. So Liz, what have you been knitting? Stephen West, the mystery knit along. So if you don't want to see the pattern, I'll put a timestamp on the screen so you can skip ahead until after me and Liz have shown our Stephen West mystery knit alongs. Although none of us have actually done the latest clue, so we haven't got any spoilers for that one. No. So this is clue 1 and start of clue 2, isn't it, Liz?
Yes.
And you're using the Barbie Girl yarn set that I dyed up, and this one is in an MCN base, so it's a lovely merino cashmere and nylon luxury soft squishy base.
Very nice.
And Liz has done the clue 1 that Stephen did with the what do you call it? The adjusted clue 1, the same as me. Just because it's all written out and it's easy, isn't it, as well? And also, if you're trying to copy it, then I know that you can get the instructions for this. So this centre bit here is clue 1, and then Liz has started clue 2, which is around the edge of 2 edges, and there's some eyelets and some reverse garter stitch, I believe. Yeah. So what did you think about the cast on method, Liz? That was called
good.
Emily Ocker's circular cast on. I had to look it up because I can't remember what it's called.
It's great learning new things.
Yeah.
But I've never, that was with the crochet hook as well, which I've never used really, but that was easy. That was quite good.
Yeah. So somebody who doesn't do a lot of crochet, it's not too hard.
No.
Especially if you've got the video that you can actually watch.
And that's looks nice, doesn't it, in the middle to be pulled up.
It closes up nice and tight, doesn't it? I think if you did, was it a long tail cast on the option?
The other one was. Yeah. The other one was a long tail.
And then you'd end up with a little hole in the middle. I think it's nice that you can close it up.
That'll suit me.
Yeah. You go with your pink jumper.
I'm getting hot now.
Yeah. It isn't quite cool enough to be wearing super chunky, is it?
No, that's good. Yeah.
But so you're only just into clue 2.
Yes.
But I have started a bit of clue 3, which I shall show you in a minute. But are you enjoying it being a mystery knit along?
Yes, I've never done it. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but I keep asking you, so that's okay.
Well, I've already done the bit that she's doing, so that's handy. Yeah. But there is the videos that Stephen's done as well, which is always handy to just double check things because he makes quite unusual shapes, doesn't he?
That's right.
So it's nice to be able to quickly have a look at the video to see whether you're doing it right, and being able to see like a good picture of it, and you know, see it in the actual video as well is better than just seeing the pictures on a normal pattern, I think, really. So. So thank you for coming on, Liz.
It's great.
Hopefully next week we'll have both done more, because I've only just started. Well, I've done half of the one side of clue 3, which I shall show you in a minute, but I haven't done up to the end of clue 3, and clue 4 is out today, so I'm very excited.
Well, you better get knitting.
You'll be zooming past
I
me,
will.
won't you?
Yeah, I've got time now.
Liz wanted to do this shawl before she started the mystery knit along, so that's why Liz was a bit late starting. But isn't this gorgeous?
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on, Liz.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you next week.
Will I?
Yeah.
Bye bye.
So, isn't Liz's pretty? I love those pinks all together. But here is my version of the Geo Gradient MCAL shawl. I have done possibly about 40% of clue 3, so skip to the timestamp on the screen if you don't want to see any spoilers for clue 3. I've just watched the video for clue 4 and I'm very excited. I love the next bit, and I hope you're enjoying the knit along as well. So here we are, here's how I've got on. So this centre square is clue 1. Clue 2, we had some eyelets and some reverse garter stitch on 2 sides here, and then 2 sides this side as well. This cable is a little bit shorter, so it's bunching my stitches up a bit. And then clue 3 is this textured stitch. You can see that I am knitting my ends in rather than using the weaving Stephen, just because I like the look of it better. This is how it looks. I love the texture that it makes, but it is a little bit sort of, feels like it takes forever to do. It is very similar to the slip stitch pattern that I did on my Soundwave cowl. But you are doing slip stitches on this side of the work on both sides, so it is a little bit fiddly when you're working on the wrong side, when you're going backwards and forwards. That's what I think anyway. The front side I find really nice and easy to do, but you are doing the slip stitches on both of the sides there, which just takes a little bit longer, because I just want to make sure that I've got all the slip stitches lined up in the correct orientation. But it does look really lovely. I haven't actually got that much more to do to make this like a triangle. This forms a triangle this side, and then I basically do exactly the same thing on this edge here, so that you've got like the triangular shape of the start of a shawl. And then I'm very excited to start the next clue. I haven't done so much on this because I have been working on the sock pattern and also the shawl pattern for the advent calendar as well. So I thought for next week I would show you some samples of the advent shawl that I've designed for this year, and I hopefully got a couple of samples to show you in the fingering weight and DK yarns, and I'm also writing it up to make a blanket pattern as well, but that's going to take me a little bit more work, I think. So, but basically the shawl pattern is pretty much done. So I'll be able to show you the sample of that next week. So I'm hoping to get the blanket integrated into the pattern, into the final written up pattern, before I send it out to you guys for Advent. I'm sure I'll manage to do it because it isn't that complicated. It's a nice simple knit, so I'll be excited to show you that. Anyway, I digress. We're talking about the Steven West Geo Gradient shawl. This is knitted in the colourway set It's Only Natural that I put together. I thought I'd put these colours together because I thought they went really well with like denim. But we've got a beige colour, or a grey beige. You can see it better in this section, I think. A grey beige, a sort of dusky blue, an emerald green, and then a teal, which I think goes really nicely. And I'm really pleased that I had a go at making this shawl. And now I've seen the final clue, I'm even more excited. Oh dear. So I'm knitting mine in just a 75% merino, 25% nylon fingering weight yarn, but Liz was using the MCN fingering weight, which makes it extra squishy. But I think she's enjoying knitting that. It's really nice because there's sort of slightly different techniques to what a lot of other patterns have, so I do enjoy a Steven West pattern. So that is all the knitting that I've got to show you, but I do have some confessions. I saw that Helen from Giddy Yarns was selling some of her leftover yarn clubs from this year, and I loved this colour set. I'm not very good at buying things that are a mystery. I like to see exactly what they look like before I buy them, and even though she had sort of colour inspiration, this looks even more gorgeous when you actually see it in person. And now obviously they're older yarn clubs. This was from April this year. She was able to sell any sort of excess clubs, which I thought was lovely, because then I can get my hands on some and I can see what they look like. So this is the Fantasy Book Club April, the Unicorn Minis, and look at those. Absolutely love these colours. There's little pops of bright colour that look especially gorgeous. And I thought, because these will go really well with my Advent that I bought from Giddy Yarns last year, and I'm going to put this with those, and I'm going to be making a blanket, a crocheted blanket. And I was hoping to do the one that's like little hexagons from Sandra Paul from Cherry Heart. She'd got one with little hexagons. I know that on her latest video, I think she'd been doing one of those blankets, but done it so that it comes out as flowers, with the hexagons laid out as flowers. But I thought that I'd do all of my gorgeous Giddy yarns into one of those blankets, so I'm excited to actually get started on this. once I've done my Mystery MCAL, I've got loads of things that I want to cast on. I've got a jumper that I've got all bagged up, ready to go, with all the yarn caked, and a few other sort of smaller projects. I really need to get on with my slippers I started last week as well. I just don't know where the time's gone this week. It's just gone crazy. So that is my confessions. But I think they're justified. I have plans. So I have 2 questions from the Ask Me Anything thread now. I've got one from Tracy, and she was talking about not being able to sometimes knit. A lot of jumpers aren't actually in larger sizes when you've got a big bust, when you're a bit of a curvy lady, and she was looking for some suggestions for DK garments that have sizes going up to 54 inches. Now I've got 3 suggestions that I found that I've either got on my list or I quite fancy doing, but I found if you go into the pattern search on Ravelry and you put hashtag size inclusive, all as one word, you will come up with all the patterns that have got the hashtag size inclusive in their description, which is very, very useful. Obviously then you can narrow it down to DK along the actual left hand side, which will be that side to you. On the left hand side there's little boxes where you can click your yarn weights and different things like that, so you can narrow down your search a little bit further. But putting that hashtag size inclusive into the search box, it will come up with all those patterns. I've put hashtag size inclusive in their description. Now I found that I clicked on quite a few of those and they were all within the 54-inch bust that you've got, Tracy, so that is a brilliant thing to have a go at, and I'm so glad I found that as well, because of course it's always really nice to support these designers that are actually making things that are size inclusive. As somebody who's got quite a big bust myself, I know I've lost weight recently, but I have in the past really struggled with getting some patterns to actually fit me because they're not written up to my size. But size inclusive, hashtag size inclusive. I'll put in the description box the actual hashtag so you can see exactly how it was written and look up for yourself. But 3 patterns that I found that I've got on my list is the Comfort Fade Cardi by Andrea Mowry. I've got this caked up, that's the one I've got caked up, and that's a beautiful squishy cardi with a lovely neckline, and that goes up to 63-inch bust, and they suggest you doing a 3.5-inch positive ease for that one, so that's plenty of room to get into that size range, Tracy. We have the DK Flax by Tin Can Knits. I do suggest, actually, Tin Can Knits are brilliant because a lot of their patterns go right from children's to adults as well, and big adult sizes as well, not just for nice slim women. And also both sexes as well, so they're designed for everybody, which is absolutely brilliant, because then if you buy a pattern you could knit 4 versions for a family and then you've got your money's worth out of the pattern. So there's that one. That one goes up to 70 inches, which is brilliant. And the third one I'd got on my list to do was the Field Sweater, or there's a cardigan version as well, and that one is all in centimetres, but it goes up to 148 centimetres. Tracy was 54-inch bust, that's 137 centimetres, and that's 148 centimetres for the top size. Although that's a little bit, it's not quite so size inclusive as the other ones, it's still quite size inclusive because it says you only need 0 to 15 centimetres positive ease. So if you were to knit the largest size, you've got 11 centimetres of positive ease, so that would be plenty of room really. I'd probably go for one with a little bit less positive ease than that. I like things to be a little bit more fitted at the top here. So I hope that's helpful, Tracy, and I hope that's helpful to lots of other people as well that are looking for size inclusive garments. So my next question is from Angela, and she was saying that she's seen that I've attended quite a lot of shows, but why don't I attend as a seller, and do I have any plans to go as a seller in the future? Now, having an online shop and doing a lot of shows is a completely different thing. So if I was going to do a lot of shows, I'd need all the things that you need to set up. I'd need displays and a lot of stock to fill that actual stall to make it look good. So there's loads of things that you need to buy and sort of be prepared for compared to having an online shop. So it's quite different really. I have thought about doing it in the past. I have done sort of craft fairs in the past, and quite a few years ago, and they are quite hard work as well, so I just haven't sort of got round to it yet. And also I'd have to have a lot of stock stored in the house, and as most of you know, I actually dye a lot to order, so that I haven't got to stock it in my house because I just haven't got room to store it, to be honest. Maybe if I can sort out somewhere that I can have another storeroom for all the sort of dyed yarn, because I do have cabinets sort of like this behind me and up over here, but there's just not enough to store enough yarn to have a stall with. There's only enough, I've only got enough room to store a sort of small amount of the mini sets that I dye, because I dye those in batches rather than singularly, but most of it I dye to order. So I might do it in the future. I just need to sort out somewhere where I can actually store the stock. But it is a hell of a lot of hard work when you do these shows, and you've also got to make sure that you don't overspend on sort of travelling and staying in hotels when you're doing shows like that. So it's something that you need to really think about and make sure that you're going to break even in terms of the money side of things. So there we go, that's 2 questions from the Ask Me Anything thread. If you have a question, you can go over to the Ravelry group on the Ask Me Anything thread and pop your question there. I don't often actually reply on the thread, I normally just talk about it on the podcast. But if you don't have Ravelry, you can email me on crafthousemagik@gmail.com and I will make sure that I answer it on the next podcast. I do know that Tracy's question actually was quite a few weeks ago, but because I haven't podcasted very regularly, it got a bit lost, but now I'd found it up again, so hopefully I make sure that I answer all of your questions, even if it's a couple of weeks late. So I'm now on to the what's occurring section. So Barbara's Day on Sunday was really lovely. It was so nice to see everybody, so thank you so much for coming. I have already arranged a new date. We're going to have the next Barbara's Day out on the 3rd of December at Dunstan Hall Terrace Bar at 2 o'clock again. I thought it'd be really nice. I don't have to book a table and we can all just turn up, and there is quite a lot of space for everyone to sit normally, so that is really handy. What we're going to do actually is, I thought if everybody gets either 100 grams out of their stash, or you can buy new if you want to, and bring that wrapped up in Christmas paper, and we can put them all into a basket, and then we can grab one and have like a Christmas swap and get a new skein of yarn. Of course, if you make sure you recognise your own Christmas paper so you don't pick your own skein out. So that's what we've got coming up in December. I have now listed the November yarn clubs. It was a little bit late because I had a little bit of time off last week, sort of recovering, even though I did podcast. I was just sort of relaxing a bit after my surgery, but I'm all fine now and back to normal, I think. So the November yarn clubs will be available until the 5th of November, and they will be shipped on the 17th of November. But if you buy the combined November and December, they won't be shipped until the 15th of December. So those are all listed now. So I will have a few leftover advents that I'm going to put in the shop tomorrow, Friday, that is the 27th of October. Friday the 27th of October at 7 PM GMT, I will have all the leftover advent calendars that I dyed up, so that they are ready to ship. So they will be shipped sort of early next week. So those will be listed tomorrow, Friday the 27th of October. Everyone who's subscribed to my email updates will get an email saying that they've gone live. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see when they go up, but it will be 7 o'clock tomorrow night. There aren't all of the different bases and all the different number of days, so I do 12 and 24 days normally, 10 and 20 gram minis in a number of different bases, including Merino, Stellina, BFL, DK, and also the Highland wool as well, the non-superwash Highland wool. So I have a few each of most of those, but obviously when they've gone I will not be dyeing anymore because they are just leftovers I did in excess in case anything went wrong. So they will be going in the shop tomorrow. Yarn and project bags will be going in the back in the shop next Friday the 3rd of November, so just in case you're waiting for them to come back in the shop, they will be in the shop next Friday, and I will do an email update for the people who are subscribed to my email list as well. If you want to subscribe to my email list, you go to my website, scroll right to the bottom of the page, and there's 2 boxes, one of which you can pop your email in. One is like a search engine to find things on my website. The other one has just got an email. You put your email in and that will sign you up to my email updates, and then you'll get an update every time I put something new in the shop. I try not to do it too often, it'll be no more than sort of once a week, but if anything exciting is happening, I will be sending out an email update. So we have a few winners for some of the make-alongs. So we've got 2 winners for the summer sock along. Those 2 are the mystery sewer, who is Sandy from Canada, and we have Blackmore Rose, that's Joanne from Ayr. So congratulations both of you 2. I've got a winner for the Craft 20 a day, and that's Adam from Crafty Wool UK in Lancashire. So congratulations, Adam. I have 3 subscriber giveaway winners. So we've got August, September and October. That's how rubbish I've been at actually drawing them out, but I've done them all today and this week, so they will be going out on Monday probably. We have got, for the August winner, we have Becky from Antrim in the UK. September winner is, I think it might be Les from the UK, but it was just an email I had. I didn't have the full name, so check your emails. And the October winner is Maria from Essex. So congratulations everybody. You will either have a Ravelry message or an email message from me asking for your full name and address, nothing else. So if they ask for any more information of bank details, etc., it won't be me. So it'll just be your full name and address that I asked for, so I can post them out to you. So congratulations everybody. I will be drawing prizes every month for the subscriber giveaways, and we will also have more make-along prize draws as well, so watch out for those. So I've opened up a new thread on the Ravelry group for Craft House Magic Festive Craft Along 2023. So anything that's sort of festive, whether it's Christmas or whatever other festivities you celebrate over the sort of winter season. It can be making for gifts, it can be making something that's related to sort of winter season or Christmas or any other religious sort of festivity you have. So it's not just Christianity, it can be anything. So anything that's sort of festively wintry, come and join in. Any gifts or anything that's festive at all, it can be entered, and it can be any craft as well, and as long as it's not more than sort of 50% completed, you can enter it into the make along. So anything, basically anything goes, and if you can have a tenuous link, I do love a tenuous link. So do come and join over on Ravelry or use the hashtag on Instagram. That's CHM Festive Craft Along 2023. So last of all, it's over to you, Jensen. Are you eating your mini cheddars? Jensen is wearing his 11's cardigan, and it's a pattern by Lisa Chemry, and it's knitted in some of my own hand-dyed yarn in the Rain colourway on the Aran base, which is a merino Aran base, and it's really lovely and squishy. I love this pattern. He looks like a really cute little hobbit, and I really like the actual neck on it because it's nice and cozy here, but it's also got these really cute patches on the elbows which are like a textured stitch. The same patterns on the little pockets as well underneath, which is really pretty. Yeah, and the buttons are nice, aren't they? Really nice. It's a little bit big on him still, but that's good because it's got more wear out of it. And he just is having a nice relax, eating his mini cheddars. Can I have one, Jensen? Can I have one? Thank you. Ah. Are you going to say bye-bye to everybody? Bye-bye. so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I shall see you in the next week's episode. Bye!